In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use the science of habit formation to hack my phone addiction. If you implement these habits, you can drastically reduce your phone usage, which in 2025, Gen Z spends an average of around 9 hours a day on screen time, a lot of which is just wasted time. To back up my claims, I'm going to be referencing James Clear's Atomic Habits, which is a popular book on how to form habits. The first law of behavior change to break a habit is make it invisible. How can you apply this principle to your phone? If you use your phone as your alarm in the morning, it can be very tempting to instantly check your phone. You can consider investing in a physical alarm, and don't have your phone right next to your bed. Even something as simple as putting it on a table a little bit away from your bed will stop you from wanting to look at it first thing in the morning. Alongside this is curating no phone zones. If you're trying to do something that doesn't require your phone, simply put it away, out of sight, out of mind. You can do this when doing work or when getting ready for bed. If you like to leave your phone charging all night, let it charge somewhere other than right beside your bed, because you're probably not doing much productive things right before you go to sleep. How else can you make it invisible? How about not seeing tons of notifications? Turn off notifications from most of your apps. You really don't need them. There's no reason you need to see every time one of your mild acquaintances posts on their story on Instagram, or that your running app needs an update. Just go into settings and turn off everything systematically. Something else you can do is simply remove addictive apps from your home screen. You're making them invisible, right? This will place them once again out of sight, out of mind, where you may not think about it as much and be less tempted to click on it. Also, a bonus tip, if you use iOS, you can hold down an app and actually hide it, so it won't even appear in your category of apps. You'll have to actually unlock it in order to access it. The next principle that James Clear talks about to break a habit is make it unattractive. If you implemented the last tip but you still want to use the app sometimes, implement this bonus tip. Instead of app icons, use shortcuts to create a shortcut to open the app. Then add this widget to the home screen, but rename it to something unattractive. For example, distraction for Instagram or waste of time for YouTube. This simple little thing will just remind you and make it a little less attractive to click on it, because you'll be reminded, that is a waste of time. Why am I doing that? Another one of the best things you can do to make your phone unattractive: implement grayscale mode. I understand people may not want to do this because viewing your phone in color is not only desirable, but sometimes necessary for certain things. But I have an entire video on how you can do it in a sustainable way, which I'll link in the description. And also be assured that this does work, because studies have been done on it and it reduces people's screen time significantly when they implement grayscale mode. Another way to make your phone unattractive: don't use widgets that constantly refresh, giving you another dopamine hit, like those widgets that show the stock market or the latest news. These things that constantly populate is just going to make you more addicted to your phone. The ultimate way to make your phone unattractive would be to get a brick phone. This is very hard to do though, because modern society often requires us to have smartphones for pretty much everything. But if you want to go hardcore, just get a brick phone and text. The third principle in Atomic Habits about breaking a habit is make it difficult. And James Clear introduces this concept of friction. Friction is any sort of obstacle that slows you down or gets in your way when you're trying to complete a habit. With good habits, you want to reduce the friction to encourage that. With bad habits, you want to increase the friction to make it harder to do that and to break the habit. There are lots of screen time apps on the market to help you with these goals. This video is not sponsored, but I do use all of these apps for free and they're quite nice, so I'd recommend them. The first one is called 1Sec. And what it does is you choose an app that is your most addictive, and now whenever you click on that app, it's actually going to take you away to a different screen where you're forced to wait around 6 seconds to proceed. Just that 6-second barrier is enough often to discourage you from wanting to do it, and if you do have to wait, it's a long time to wait, trust me. The only downside with this app is you only can do this with one app before you come across a paywall. This is why I also recommend ScreenZen. ScreenZen basically does the same thing, but I like it a little bit more because you can customize a message to yourself when you open this app. And not only that, but you also have to wait a customizable amount of time before you can proceed with that app. And with ScreenZen, you can do this to multiple apps without coming across a paywall, which is why I really like this app. The next app I recommend is Opal. What Opal does best is it can block certain apps during certain times, like let's say 9 to 5 when you're working or doing school or something. You can have Opal be active, which means you won't be able to activate your addictive apps unless you go in and wait 5 or 10 seconds and activate a break. So all of these different apps can make it more difficult for you to access these apps, which in my experience has really worked at making me not view them nearly as much. The last rule in breaking a habit is to make it unsatisfying. And in a way, this already happens every time you, say, doom scroll for hours, then you finally break the cycle and you feel bad. Treasure that feeling of badness, because that is making it unsatisfying, which should hopefully encourage you not to do it again. James Clear promotes different sorts of ideas with this make it unsatisfying. One thing he suggests is tell a friend about your goal to have a certain screen time limit, let's say in a certain week, and if you break that, then you have to give them money. This is certainly an option. Another small thing you can do to make it unsatisfying: add a screen time widget to your phone, which displays your current screen time for the day or for the week. This way, every time you open your phone, you'll be reminded of your screen time and reminded of your screen time goals, which should encourage you to not view your phone as much. So I hope some of these ideas helped in how you can completely redesign your phone to suit your goals. A lot of people acknowledge that they're addicted to their phone, but they do nothing to solve it. Trying harder is not a long-term solution. The best way to go about it breaking it is systematically setting up these systems to break your habits, which can then allow you to pursue your goals in a meaningful way. My last tip for this video is actually to redshift your phone during nighttime hours. And the reason is because the number one thing that's going to enable you to have the willpower to not look at your phone is getting plenty of sleep. I'm a big proponent of sleep. It's why I have a bed in the camera frame. Like, get good sleep and then you'll have the willpower to even pursue these things. I've noticed everyone is addicted to their phones these days, and it's a huge problem that we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about these ways you can solve them. So if you're interested in joining a community of like-minded people who are set on stopping this phone addiction, then please subscribe and support the channel. I understand it's a little bit ironic that I'm making content about this, but I'm not saying all content is bad. I think we're just overindulging in specifically screen time things that waste our time. There's nothing wrong with watching a movie here or there, but it becomes a problem when you're trying to focus on something, but you simply cannot because of everything you're bombarded with. Alright, see y'all in the next video.